Alrighty. Hello, Miss Roelien. How are you?
Good on you.
I'm doing really good, thank you. And I just want to mention, I think I'm frozen on your screen, so please forgive me for that. Hopefully the camera adjusts itself here.
There we
There we
go.
go. Oh, I apologize again. But I would love for us, we've had a great chat, and I would love for us to continue that. So if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about your professional experience.
So I started off at ArcelorMittal, which is an industrial steel manufacturer in South Africa. Well, it's global, but I was working in South Africa. Obviously, that's where I'm from. I worked there for a lot of about 5 to 6 years, um, progressing from an assistant graphic designer. I spent some time in the administrative part of the training department as well for the learnership training on the production end of the company. And then I went back to the marketing and graphic design part where I worked as a senior designer and on and off as a planner. I alternated between the roles for a few years.
Incredible. And thank you for giving me insight on your professional experience. I apologize that every time I speak it freezes, but
No
please don't
problem. And
mind that.
then after that, you'll see there's a bit of a gap where I was self-employed. That was over COVID time. The department I was working for inside ArcelorMittal, the in-house um, design department, closed down. So that was just before COVID, and then COVID happened. So I just decided to do some freelance work. That was about 2 years. And then I went over to the leisure market, working at a resort and casino. There I was the sole designer for the casino or the hotel accommodation and leisure market. There was a zoo and aquadome. Aquadome was like a water park, indoor water park situation there. A lot of events and obviously casino promotions, floor decor, and promotional elements of the casino environment and the F&B, all of the restaurants. So yeah, got quite a bit of range.
Yeah, you do. And I appreciate you giving me that insight on your professional experience. You know, you said it best. I have your resume pulled up here as well. Like you said, you know, you've worked in, you know, your latest position was that resort casino type of company. Now, I know that we chatted a little bit off the actual recording here, and I mentioned to you a little bit about the size of this client, right? It's a smaller company. So tell me what you look forward to the most working with more of a smaller company versus a major company that you're working with.
Well, I think there's the opportunity for working in more specific, in-depth projects, and like you said, that helping out with some of the other elements of the business, which I'm comfortable with. I do have experience with the freelance work. A lot of small companies used my services, so it worked. So I'm willing to do that
Incredible.
again. Yes.
Okay, so you're comfortable working with that smaller office, which is great. I know, again, kind of like we chatted off camera, off with this role, there is that administrative side. You know, because this role combines that true graphic design with the special projects, you're going to have some time where you know the special projects have been completed, and you may have some downtime, which comes into the administrative side. I know we confirmed that off camera, but you're completely okay with doing more of that administrative work.
Yes, yes. Since I've got the experience with the training department a very long time ago, and being the planner of a like a design agency, it was a print and design. It was, I call it an agency, but it was like a department inside the huge factory setup. So we did a little bit of everything, and I was involved in the planner side, which is a lot of admin and working with customers and working with vendors and supplies and stock control. So I've got some experience there as well.
Amazing. So you're fully comfortable with kind of tackling, those administrative duties as well, which is great.
Yes.
Um, awesome stuff. I want to pivot a little bit and speak upon some programs or some systems that you have used. What are some systems that you are most proficient with?
Well, Adobe. I use Adobe Suite. Most of the time it's InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop because I like doing the editing myself. I know there's a lot of people going straight to AI, but sometimes the images look wonky. So you'll
Yes,
see on my portfolio, all of those images are separate images. Some of them, the actual figure was AI, but I had to incorporate it because the company I worked for, the resort and casino, um, I actually helped them develop the brand, and they loved the magical effect and idea of getting away from the outside world and coming to see the animals in the zoo and playing in the water, that type of thing. So all of that had to be edited in Photoshop.
that
So
sounds super cool.
I enjoy that. And then I have worked some in After Effects because I had to update social media videos. I had to create those, and I had to do TV content for in-room elements in the hotels and also on the casino floor. So yeah, that's most of the Adobe Suite type of stuff I am comfortable using because I've used that a lot. But yeah, I haven't done much in Canva because it
Mhm.
just feels like a step down.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
sorry,
no worries, no worries.
something went somewhere there.
No
Sorry.
worries. You
Yeah, so
okay?
it was like Canva is really simple,
Yeah.
and I was comfortable and used to having a quite a fast pace in the
Mhm.
leisure environment with the more complicated software. So I was comfortable with that, and then going back to Canva was just like unnecessary.
Okay.
And a lot of the Adobe products speak to each other. So going to Canva, doing something there, you won't be able to edit it anywhere or reuse or change anything. So it was just like Adobe was better.
No worries. That sounds great to me. And I love how you mentioned that, you work a lot off Photoshop and you do a lot of editing off that Adobe. One thing that the client or the hiring manager did enforce or mention to us, making sure that, hey, just make sure they're not doing any images off AI, right? Because anyone
Well,
can
that's
do
great.
that.
But I'm so
Yeah.
glad because it feels like everyone wants AI, and I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
gives extra fingers and weird mouths and things.
Yeah, and she mentioned that to me as well. She has a little bit of a background in graphic design too, so she was like, as long as you find someone with these skills, red flags is going to be AI. But she really wants someone with Photoshop experience as well. So I think the fact that you mentioned that, you highlighted that, I think we're getting a little bit more excited about your candidacy with this, but I want to pivot a little bit as well here. I want to chat a little bit about your availability. I know I asked you off camera as well, but in reference to starting a new position, how soon were you looking to start?
I was looking at the start of August, which
Mhm.
will be
In
um
about
yeah,
2
the kids
weeks.
by then the kids will almost be off to school, and yeah, so I think that's a good time.
Awesome. Were you aiming more towards the beginning of August, towards the second week of August? I know the kiddos kind of go to school. Is it
Well,
mid-August?
whichever works. I mean, the second week would
Okay.
be great, but if that's not possible, we can look at earlier,
Okay. That sounds
around the
awesome.
first week.
Amazing. Alrighty. Well, that sounds perfect to me. I just want to thank you for the time that we have spent this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but if you don't mind, stay with me really quickly. I want to continue chatting with you.
No problem. Thank you for the consideration.
Absolutely. You're very welcome.